Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. Have you ever wanted something? You tried to manifest a house, a car, a job, your soulmate, and it just doesn't seem to happen? You keep getting what you don't want. It's like, well, this isn't what I asked for. Well, today I'm going to tell you how I manifested my house. So, my name is Pam, and I'm a holistic transformational coach. The title has shifted because my vision has shifted to even more than what I've always done this. I just didn't know what to call it. So anyway, my life was shifting at the moment, and I lived in a house that I had manifested, and I wanted to be in the mountains. So I'm going to tell you what I did, the steps that I did to manifest my house. And it's how I manifest everything. And sometimes, they tell you knowledge is power, but then they also say ignorance is bliss. And when I finish my story, I will explain the difference. So when I left my last husband, I wanted to move to a house in the mountains. And I was looking all over the place for a house in the mountains. And I looked and I looked and I looked. And God told me, he's like, Pam, it's not time. And I said, okay. So as soon as I stopped looking for the mountain, because it's not always no. It's just, it might be not right now. So the mountains wasn't right then. So I shifted my focus to something not in the mountains. And I found the cutest little house. It was perfect for me. But I knew that I wasn't going to be there long. I just had this feeling I wasn't going to be there long. So my job, I was a security manager, and the security company was changing at the mall. The whole time I'm in this house, I'm happy there. I love my house, but my heart wants to be in the mountains, right? So I want to see the mountains, because anytime I'm driving, wherever I'm going, if I come up over a knoll and there's a mountain, my heart just soars. So that is what is down deep inside of me this whole time. So anyway, the security company where I was working, the contract was ending and they were going to go to a different company. And I was like, okay, well, I'm here. I'll try out this new company. And it just didn't set. Things just didn't feel right. I wasn't happy. So I told my boss, I said, you know what? I'm not going to the other company. I'm staying with you. But I'm moving to the mountains. Since this job is done, you got to relocate me anywhere. Now is my time to go to the mountains. And he said, well, where are you going? I said, I don't know. I'm going to the mountains. I said, as long as I can see the mountains, that's where I'm going. I said, I don't even know what country I'm going to be in, because I was completely open to wherever the universe sent me, because I knew it would be the perfect place for me. So I told him, I said, just find me a place in the mountain where I can see the mountains. He's like, okay. Well, in this process, I thought, okay, well, I need to sell my house. So I put my house on the market. It sold the day it hit the market for full price. One person came in, saw my house, fell in love with it, and offered me full price. And now I don't know where I'm going for my job, and I have to be out of my house in probably 45 days. And I had a real estate agent looking for a house in the mountains for me. Well, and I live in Virginia, so everything from like northern North Carolina all up the west coast of Virginia up to what, like Pennsylvania, Maryland, whatever, all of that is mountains. So I just wanted to be out there. And I thought I wanted to be in a specific area. So I'm looking in this place, and that's where this agent is. And she's helping me, but she's not really finding anything. And of course I'm doing what I always do when I look for a house, is search Zillow. So I'm searching Zillow and nothing's coming up out there. Nothing's coming up. And probably a week or so go by, and the agent that sold my house is like, Pam, aren't you worried? How are you doing this? And I said, no, I'm not worried. Why am I going to worry? I know God's got me. He hasn't let me down yet. He isn't going to let me down now. I know he will find, it might be the 9th hour, but I will find my house. It'll be exactly what I want. I just know it. And of course, my boss is thinking I'm crazy because he doesn't have a clue where he's going to put me. He has no openings, and and he knows I have no house now. In like 45 days, I'm going to be out. So anyway, so I'm looking at houses, and he's got me doing odds and ends things at this point at work, because my job is ended. He has nothing for me to do, really. So anyway, I'm going along, and he calls me one Sunday. And if you've ever searched Zillow, you put in typically an address, a zip code, something. Well, I was searching like a span. So I was drawing a circle around the area of the mountains in Virginia. And nothing was coming up. And he called me one Sunday, and he said, Pam, or he sent me a text. He said, I don't have anything for you to do tomorrow. Just take the day off. And I said, okay. So I go back to Zillow. I draw my circle. I hit search, and a house pops up. And I look at it, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's a cute house. So I call my agent. Now, by this point, I have 3 agents working up and down the western part of Virginia. Nothing's popping yet. I'm still not worried because I just know something's going to happen. So I drew my circle and I hit search, and this house popped up. And I'm like, okay. So I call one of my agents, and I said, I want to see this house tomorrow. I'm off. I'll take a trip out to where I didn't even know where it was. But I have faith that it's just going to be okay. And I'll know my house when I see it. So she said, well, Pam, I don't cover that area, but I'll find someone who does. I said, okay. Short time later, she says, you have an appointment with a 4th agent at, I don't know, like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. Meet her at the house. And I said, okay. So I drive out here. Well, coming out here, if you've ever seen the Amish buggies being pulled by horses, it gives me such a sense of peace. I was like, oh my, I came up to one of those on my way out here. And I was like, oh my gosh, I like driving, taking a picture. Not that I recommend you do that by any stretch, but I'm taking a picture, and it's amazing. So anyway, I come out here, I'm walking across the backyard, and it's a beautiful, clear day, and off in the distance, I can see the mountains. I was like, that is the view I want. Now I just need to see inside. So the agent gets here, we come inside, and as soon as I walk in the door, I'm like, this is my house. I just know it. So we walk through the house, we're talking, all this kind of stuff. And she asked me, she said, well, since you like it, do you want to go ahead and put an offer on it? I'm like, sure. And I always go with, what number kind of pops in my head. And it was less than what they were asking for it. And I said, well, and I asked her, I said, well, what do you think I should offer for it? And she kind of does some figuring in her head, taking out commissions and all this kind of stuff. And she gives me a number. And it was the exact number that I had in my head, the exact number. And I said, good, because that's what I was thinking. I said, that's my offer. They accepted it. No haggling back and forth. No, I don't know. No, they accepted my offer. And I go through the whole process, close on my house, and everything just flowed like water. It was absolutely amazing. There were 4 specific things that I said it had to have. It had to be a little bit bigger than my last house. I had to have cell phone and internet because my last house had neither. And being a security manager I was over at that, getting ready to be over 50 people, employees. I kind of have to have my cell phone. So it had to have cell phone and internet. It had to have room for my horse and a view of the mountains. I got all of it. I called my boss and I said, I found my house. And he said, well, where is it? He said, before I came out here, I told him, I said, okay, I'll take tomorrow off, but I'm going to go look at a house. And I said, and if this one doesn't work, I'm expanding my search into North Carolina and Tennessee and all of that because I'm going to the mountains. And he's like, Pam, I don't even know where I'm going to put you. And I told him, I said, you know what? It's okay. Because I know where my house is, that's where my job will be. I just knew it. So anyway, make an offer on the house. It's accepted. I called my boss. I said, this is where I'm going to be. And he said, okay, well, I was thinking about putting you in Lynchburg. Okay. I don't know beans about this area where I'm getting ready to move. I Google it. Lynchburg is like a half hour from my house. And I get to work from home. So it just worked. The thing is, I didn't stress about it. I had a deep, just a knowing that I was going to find my house. And it was just going to work. How I was open to wherever God was going to send me. I was open to how the process was going to work. And I had faith that it was just going to work perfectly. And it did. And I've been here, March will be 4 year. Now I'm working on my next house. And I just know it's going to work. I know it. So when I say knowledge is power, but ignorance can be bliss, yes, knowledge is power. But sometimes I had no clue what I was doing. I had no clue I was manifesting my house. I hadn't even heard about the law of attraction or manifesting when I was doing this. So I come out here, and of course I'm on my spiritual journey. I'm growing, I'm, expanding my mind. I'm doing my shadow work. I'm dumping limiting beliefs. I'm doing all of the work on me. And I hear about law of manifestation, law of attraction. So of course, at this point, I don't have my guy. All I have is my house. So then I start going into all of these steps of how to manifest what I want. And it's just not working because I'm trying. When you try, you're pushing it away. You're coming from lack. You're coming from a place of, I don't have it. This is what I want. And all I was getting is what I didn't want because that's what I was focused on. You know, with my house, I knew what I wanted. I wasn't focusing on any negatives. I wasn't focusing on, well, my house is small. My house that I left was 792 square feet. At one point, my friend and her two girls moved in with me. So there's 4 of us living in my little house that's less than 800 square feet. That's another story. And again, it just worked because it was meant to be. So I knew what I wanted. It wasn't coming from, God, I need a bigger house. I really want more room for my horse. It's just, I wanted my horse to have more room. I wanted a bigger house because my house, I loved it. But the other thing was, I wanted the view of the mountains. Now, I want the mountains and a view of water, whether it's a big pond, a lake, whatever. I just know it's going to happen because it's here. It's just a knowing. So, like I said, when I started listening to all these things about write it down, feel it, say it in your head over and over and over again, that didn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. Everything I've gotten, it just comes from a knowing. I just know it's going to happen because it's what I want. God put us here to be abundant. Live a life full of abundance. He wants us to be happy. Now, I'm not saying I get everything I want out of being a spoiled brat, because that's not it, because that's ego. That has nothing to do with it. It's just what's going to make you happy. And it's not the house that's going to make me happy. I'm already happy. But where ignorance is bliss, sometimes the more knowledge we have, we can bog ourselves down with the minutia, the details. And that's what stops us, especially when it comes to manifesting what you want. Don't get bogged down with the details. Do what feels right to you. Do what resonates with you. Think back over your life and think of what you've gotten. How did it happen? Whether it was what you wanted or what you didn't want, you manifested it. Because I think about things that I'm like, why did this happen? And then I go back to a thought I had or a feeling I had. I was like, oh yeah, I did or a limiting belief I had. So think about what you want and let the details go. It's not for you, because when everybody was asking me, everybody I talked to, they thought I was crazy. They're like, I can't believe you're not worried. I'm like, why am I going to worry? Worry has never done anything. All worry is going to do is make me upset and panic. That's not the way it's supposed to work. Worry isn't going to manifest my house. Worry isn't going to manifest my job. I'll just let it go and trust that God's got me. And he did, again. and again and again. So whatever you want, when you come from the right place. Now, some people, maybe it works for them to write it down, to get it in the feeling, and focus on it and imagine it and all of these kinds of things. All I knew is I had the vision of the mountains in my mind, and I had specific details of what I wanted in the house, and I was not willing to accept anything less. That's what I got. But sometimes I will tell you, be specific, because when I said I wanted a house a bigger, a little bit bigger than what I had, I went from 792 square feet to like 1,100 or something. It's under 1,200 square feet. So, but it's bigger, and I love it. It's perfect for me. Now I want a bigger house. Because I want a place to do my videos. I want a place that if I have company over, because I have 2 bedrooms. One is mine and my husband's, and the other one is for my cats. So I don't have a place for company to stay. I want a place where they can stay. I want pastures for my horse to be able to run. And among other things. But like I said, hopefully this helps you. Hopefully this clears up a little bit of misconception around manifestation and how you get. I mean, was I vibrationally equal with this house? I don't know. I can't tell you that. Because again, I didn't go into that feel of what is it going to feel like to sit on my porch and look at the mountains. I didn't even think about it. I just knew I wanted to see the mountains. I didn't write it down 10 times, 50 times, 100 times. I didn't go to bed at night thinking about it. I didn't wake up thinking about it. It was just there. It was just part of my reality. Because I just knew it was going to happen. So anyway, if you guys have questions, and like I said, that's how I've manifested everything. My house, my car, my business, my motorcycle, my husband, all of it. So if you have questions, I'm here to help you. I want to help you achieve whatever goal it is you have in your heart. There's nothing too big. Nothing. If you can dream it and you can envision it and you know that's what you want, there's no reason you can't have it. I don't care if you come from nothing. And I'll tell you, when I was looking at the house, when I searched Zillow, I had no clue what a mortgage payment was going to be. I just don't get bogged down with the details. But I went with a figure in my head of, again, what I heard. That's the dollar amount I went to search for my house. This one wasn't as much as that, but it got me in the ballpark of finding my house. Don't worry about the details. It's not for you to figure out how you're going to make it work. It's just gonna work if it's meant to be. And that's how I run everything. If it's meant to be, it will be. My next house will be when it's meant to be, and it will just be perfect. So I hope this helps. Have an amazing day. I send you guys love and light. I'm here to help you. If you can take 2 seconds and click the like button, subscribe to my channel, help this get out to more people, because more people, this is the time. 2024 is a year of abundance. This is the year to manifest your dreams. Start now. Start today. So help me get this video out to more people, to share this, because, you know, they might be sitting there going, why can't I get what I want? I'm stuck. And I can help you past that point. There are multiple ways and multiple things that you can do to make this happen. So have an amazing day. And I love you guys. And I will talk to you later.